Welcome back to Cohen and Kerr. We're here with the candidates for supervisor in the Board of Supervisors race in the Aquia district. And so we're starting our question and answer period. Each candidate has a minute to respond, and we'll let Amanda start off the questioning.
My first question is on transportation. Congestion on I-95 and other main roads in the county is lengthening commute times and likely discouraging tourists and businesses. What are addressing transportation issues, and would you establish a regional transportation authority? Ms. Foley, we'll begin with you.
That's a major issue for me because I live right off of Route 1, and every time during the morning commute when there's an accident on I-95, I can't get out of my neighborhood. So it's almost a daily impact on our lives. I would support the implementation of a regional tax. I think that the advantage of a gas tax is that everybody who gets off the highway to fill up their cars is impacted by that. So the people on interstate traffic that are going through Stafford are going to be forced to pay that tax. And a huge part of the problem that we have is the interstate traffic. I think that we need to also put pressure on Richmond and the federal government to look at alternatives, perhaps considering the bypass, which I know has been explored. I think we need to revisit 95 bypass and public transportation so that we can diminish the interstate impact in our area. There's many other areas up and down 95 that you can divert local traffic. We need to look at that. I think we have to be more serious about development and its impact when we're improving developments and consider transportation more thoroughly.
Thank you. Ms. Roussel.
I agree with just about everything she said there. I'm on 95. I lived in the neighborhood that she's currently living in, trying to determine what time to leave to get to Lorton when 6:30 wasn't even early enough, and I needed to be there by 8. It's really horrible that we've got to deal with the traffic backing up into our neighborhoods. Transit authority is something that I think we absolutely need to explore and employ. We need a transit authority to help us out. I think we should also consider telecommuting. There are those who, unlike me, can do their work at home or in an environment that's like a business but won't put them on I-95. So I would love to see something like that happen. And we could also use more vans to transport folks from their commute center to the VRE.
Ms. Shelton.
Yeah, I mentioned meeting with different people. It's interesting that one of the things I've met with are groups that are proposing and against the RTA, including all the different county meetings. We've had several different meetings, the GWRU, FAMCO meetings where we've talked about that. I was quite surprised the first time when I heard that I'm listening to the other supervisors from other counties come out and explain these things, and they voted against it. I was very surprised. And I think at the end of the day, nothing really matters except for what we think, what we in Stafford County, what we in the Aquia District really want, not necessarily. So I've got to tell you, it really surprised me that they voted against having an RTA. But I think everything needs to go back on the table. And I agree with all you ladies.
And so the next question, we started with Ms. Roussel. Much discussion has been had about concerning the landfill and the situation at the landfill. So how would you approach the landfill and the future of the landfill?
That's a good question. The landfill is something that is brand new to me. It's not something that I ever had to deal with when living in Louisiana. But we had other issues along those lines. It's a touchy situation. I really can't give a good. It's more research that would need to be done on it, but it definitely is something that can impact our community, especially since in the Aquia District we have one that's sitting right in the middle.
Oh yes. When it comes to the landfill, one of the other counties and other countries even have actually fined people for having too much trash. We're Americans, we have too much trash. And so there's just no way we could ever have a landfill big enough. And I absolutely support some of those new progressive solutions that are going to allow us to condense our solid waste, which is all this trash and garbage we have. I'm dismayed that Stafford County residents aren't as focused on recycling as they should be. Stafford County's got places for us to go and turn in our recycles. We don't have to have someone come by our house to do it. So I think maybe some education on that. But when it comes to what are we going to do about the landfill, then we need to explore those opportunities. And some of them aren't very pleasant. And so when we have those unpleasant conversations, that's where we talk to each other. So we communicate with each other so we can find a common solution.
I haven't thoroughly explored, and I'll be very honest, all the details about the financing of the landfill and its impact, and so it is definitely something that needs further exploration, and I need to understand better. What I do know is I have seen the board that covers the landfill work very hard to educate students. Our recycling efforts at the school system has increased dramatically in the time that I've lived in Stafford County, so that's been very positive. I think we need to work with the community for more education. I know my particular neighborhood, I asked that we reduce the trash pickup to only once a week because honestly, I don't fill my trash can even in 1 week. And they said, well, we couldn't because the contract with our pickup person requires that we have twice a week pickup. So that just increases the traffic into the landfill if that's the contracts that are being mandated. And I haven't explored that to find out, is that my HOA's decision or is it the landfill, the waste management company's decision? But I think we have to look at those kinds of things. How many pickups are appropriate so we can reduce the traffic and explore additional options.
Thank you. And one of our options is to take a break, and so we'll take a quick break, and we welcome you to come back for more questions on Co and Occur.